take it on. There is an urban legend that Boise State was a community college in the 1990s, and by like 2007, they were proposing to their fiancés on national television, beating Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. It was the greatest rise of a community college ever.
All right, Mike, guess what? College football is almost here. Football season's almost here. Everybody's excited. You know what's exciting about college football? It's the fact it doesn't have a preseason. We don't have to worry. I mean, are we going to call those out-of-conference games basically preseason? I mean, like, you know, when Wyoming has to go down and get their ass kicked by the likes of Texas, I mean, that's kind of preseason, right?
That game was competitive last year, by the way.
That's fair. Okay, fine. CSU goes down and plays Alabama. Remember that game years past? Those types of games. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that being said, we're going into the college football season. We're going to go and take a real quick look at what the Vegas odds are right now, starting with Mountain West Championship.
Oh boy, here we go.
So as it stands right now, your top 5, most likely, according to the Vegas odds, is Boise State. Is that any surprise that they are number 1, most likely to win the Mountain West at this point?
Not a huge shocker, Dirk. I mean, Boise State for the last 5-6 years is not quite the powerhouse program that we came to know in the late 2000s and 2010s. But not a shocker to me, Dirk. I think that the Boise State, still from a recruiting standpoint, from a brand standpoint, in the NIL era, probably the most well-positioned to contend in that regard.
Remember when Wyoming was losing to Boise State when they were like at 1 AA team?
I do. Well, yeah. They had just moved up. Boise State, if I'm not mistaken, was like a community college in the mid-90s. That may be wrong. That might be just some legend that I heard. But I feel
now the whole community of Boise's coming after you.
Hey, I'll take it on. There is an urban legend that Boise State was a community college in the 1990s, and by like 2007, they were proposing to their fiancés on national television, beating Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. It was the greatest rise of a community college ever.
Okay, after that, Fresno State sits in at number 2, most likely to win the Mountain West. A little interesting, with some departures there, right, including the head coach.
Yes.
So I'm surprised to see they're that high. After that, UNLV, who made some pretty drastic performances at the end of the year last year. CSU ranked number 4, and then after that, Wyoming at number 5. Now, look, it's kind of interesting with the mix in with the Pac-2, is what we'll call them, those 2 teams that are coming in for just this league, or just this season alone. Yeah, we'll see what happens with all of that. But afterwards, what happens with this conference? Does the Mountain West survive? All of that. This could be the final year, so time to win the championship. Otherwise, Wyoming has never won a Mountain West championship.
They never have. It's also been a long, long time since you had UNLV in a top 3 ranking. It's that program has been down for a long time. So good on the Runnin' Rebels for coming back in football. Not quite there in basketball now. It's just weird to think of it that way. But yes, Dirk, long overdue for Wyoming to get one since '99. Not even really competitive with the exception of a couple of years. This might be a year to sneak in there.